Welcome on in to the very first episode of the Kiwi Football Fix, your one-stop shop for everything New Zealand football. We're talking football here, we're talking New Zealand footballers abroad, and I'm joined by All Whites coach Danny Hay. Great to see you, Danny.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
And Football Fern's legend, can I call you that, Emma Kete?
I don't know if you can call me a legend, but I'm happy to be here.
Well, I've already done it, so
well, there you go.
That's who you are.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Now, guys, listen, obviously we're going to talk a lot about New Zealand football here, New Zealand footballers abroad, but before we get into anything, this year has been a year like no other. Unprecedented is the word that gets bandied about. COVID-19, the global pandemic. Let's talk professionally first of all. Danny, start with you. How has COVID-19 affected football for New Zealand?
Yeah, look, from a personal standpoint, obviously we know that the international calendar basically got wiped. Even the games that we were due to have in March over in the Middle East, they got taken off the table, and then it's almost been downhill ever since then. And we had, as most people know, some very good fixtures lined up, particularly the Belgium and England ones. So to lose those is tough to take, quite disheartening. And then even on a local scale, you look at the disruption that COVID has created, and the National League and the regional leagues as well, all being fairly disrupted. So look, it hasn't been a great year, but I guess a little bit of a silver lining is that from my standpoint, at least we've got a number of our players, and I'm talking about All Whites and future All Whites, playing in professional environments overseas, which is a real positive.
And Emma, the women's game didn't escape unscathed as well. It doesn't discriminate, COVID-19.
No, of course not. But yeah, same with the All Whites, the Football Ferns obviously missed out on the Olympics, with that being postponed, and hopefully that goes ahead next year. And obviously international fixtures, I don't think the teams met up since, was it January or February in Portugal? So yeah, so there's a lot that's up in the air at the moment, and a lot of uncertainty surrounding preparation for the Olympics as well. So yeah, I guess like you say, we've just got to take the positives, which are we're still playing locally here in New Zealand, and the National League's still going ahead, so that gives, I guess, our young girls a chance to show themselves. And yeah, who knows what will happen, but fingers crossed the Olympics goes ahead next year. Yeah.
What about from a personal point of view? Everybody's got a COVID-19 related story, how it's impacted them, their family, their friends. How did you manage to get through the various lockdowns this year, Danny?
Yeah, being trapped with my kids was a real challenge, I've got to be honest. No.
Well, what did they get up to?
No, actually, you know that first...
They drive you around the bend or something?
A little bit. Maybe that was maybe the second lockdown. I think everybody had come to that point when we had to go into the second one.
So the first one they were all right. Second lockdown was like, okay, we need to ship you out of here.
The first was a novelty. The second was
it was tough to swallow, wasn't it? But look, I think the whole country as well. I don't know about outside of Auckland, but just speaking from personal experience, we were so lucky in that first lockdown. We had incredible weather. It was actually a really nice time, in all honesty, to spend with the family. You know, we could be outdoors because the weather was so good, and you don't often get that sort of quality time to sort of connect and to connect closely with your kids. So that was good, but yeah. By the time the second one rolled around, it was probably a little bit of a different feeling.
Yeah, I feel that.
Well, for you, Emma, your story is fascinating. It's heartbreaking in a way. You've been away from your wife Jodie for quite some time now. She's based in France, isn't she?
Yeah, well, so we were both based in America, and I had to come back to New Zealand unexpectedly. I think I booked the flight back the same day I travelled, and was only supposed to be gone for 7 days, and then flight got cancelled. Obviously got stuck in lockdown here. Then obviously Jodes went into a bubble with the NWSL, played that tournament, got the opportunity to go to France, play Champions League, play for the best team in the world. So yeah, I'm still here in New Zealand, and now I'm playing National League, and she's over in France playing for the best team in the world. So yeah, it's not quite the year that I expected or she expected, but she's won Champions League, she's playing in a great team, and I'm here with friends and family, and like you said, it's been a good opportunity to sort of spend quality time with loved ones, and I haven't been able to do that in so long. And yeah, obviously being back and playing football as well, I never expected to be back here playing National League. I think the last time I played National League was 2008. So yeah, it's kind
Not
of
that
cool.
long ago.
Not that long ago, no. But yeah.
But a great silver lining that you've got players of Emma's calibre. Actually, like what an inspiration for the young local players, and how good for them to get the opportunity to play with you. So I think that's, you know, there are some positives that will come out of what COVID's brought us this year.
What happens next? I guess all roads lead to a World Cup. We've got the Women's World Cup co-hosted with Australia in 2023. We've got the Men's World Cup in 2022. How are the build-ups looking? Danny, first of all, for you, being the All Whites coach, you're the best person to talk to about this. What does the future look like for the All Whites calendar?
Yeah, look, if 2021 goes ahead as scheduled, it's going to be a pretty full calendar, to be honest. They've pushed back the start of the World Cup qualifying to the May-June window. And so that will potentially look like 2 or 3 games against Oceania opposition. We'll then go straight into our Olympic campaign as well off the back of that, which is July, August, I believe. And then September, October, November, more World Cup qualifying. So there's potentially, the way it's looking like, there's going to be a lot of contact next year with you know, pretty much the same group of players. Should we be able to get them all and make sure they're available and fit as well.
In terms of the women, you mentioned, Emma, earlier, the younger talent coming through. How well served do you think we'll be by 2023?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think, there will be a lot of girls sticking around, I think, within the Ferns at the moment. But there are some really good, talented youth players coming through. It's hard to tell. I don't quite have the insight that Danny has either with fixtures next year and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough to make that squad, and it should be. It's a home World Cup. Like, everyone should be chomping at the bit to get in that team. And I don't think New Zealand really knows the magnitude of how big this World Cup is going to be. Like, it's going to be huge. And like, I remember chatting with my family about it and being like, oh, the World Cup's coming in 2023, and they're casually like, oh yeah, we might pop down to like a couple of games. I'm like, pop down, like, you're going to be eating and breathing women's football. Like, it's going to be huge. So yeah, I think that it'll be good. I think there'll be some serious competition to get in that team.
Oh, an incredible opportunity to play a World Cup in your own backyard.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm going to be there every game.
Are you going to play?
No partying. I mean, yeah.
Will you play? Will you play?
No, I don't think I'll be. I'm 33 years old.
Age is but a number.
I've got to step aside, let the young girls come through, and
well, only if they're good enough.
Only if they're good enough.
Exactly, and never say never.
No, I would love to. It would be a dream, but I'm not sure it's a realistic dream. But I'm happy to be on the bandwagon and be there and just be a part of it. It's going to be awesome.
We're about to hear from one of our young up-and-coming stars, although he's been around for a wee while, Logan Rogerson. I had a chat with him earlier. What are some of Logan's qualities? What do you like about Logan as a player?
Yeah, look, I took Logan to the Under-17 World Cup in Chile back in 2015, I think it was. Even back then, what really struck me about him is he's a unique player. He's a dribbler. He's quick. But I think the thing that stands out for me the most is that he's got an unbelievable work ethic, unbelievable appetite to try and get better. And he had some success early on in his career as a young player, got catapulted into the Phoenix, got a number of first team opportunities, went overseas, and now he's found that it was tough over there, which a lot of young Kiwis do, and now he's just come back to regroup. But I've got a lot of time for Logan. I think in terms of just his mentality and character, it's exactly what we want to see from young players.
You got to have that mentality and character if you want to make it at the top.
100%. Like Danny said, it's tough overseas. It's a tough gig. Everyone thinks it's, a great lifestyle, and yeah, you do get to play football for a living, but yeah, it's brutal even for the girls. So yeah.
All right, well, here on the Kiwi Football Fix, let's have a listen now to Logan Rogerson. I caught up with him earlier. From the Wellington Phoenix into the All Whites to Germany and back to New Zealand again, it's my pleasure to welcome in Logan Rogerson, Auckland City player. Mate, you have fit in so much in a short space of time. You're only 22 years of age. Does it feel like the last 5 years or so has been a bit of a whirlwind?
Yeah, it's been like a roller coaster. I guess it only seems like yesterday when I was kind of signing for the Phoenix type thing, and then I look back and it's been 5 years, it's been pretty crazy. But I think, when all these things are happening, time just flies, because you're having fun at the same time. And yeah, it's been a roller coaster 5 years, but I wouldn't change it for anything.
Take us back to that day where you put your name on the dotted line for the Wellington Phoenix. Was that something that was in the forefront of your mind that you wanted to do, join the black and yellow down in Wellington?
No, it never really was. It just kind of happened real quick. I remember we were qualifying for a World Cup in Chile for the under-17s, and I did pretty well. It was kind of the first time playing for New Zealand and everything. And yeah, the Phoenix kind of got in contact and said that they were keen to have me along. And yeah, I think I spent a couple of months down there, and I was, as a full professional at 17, which was crazy. All my mates are all at school and stuff, and I get to be a footballer. It was a dream come true. And I used to go and watch the Phoenix play when I was younger, and I used to stand in the stand after the game and ask the players for their socks and everything. And so yeah, it was pretty special. Yeah.
Were some of those players, I don't know, Ben Sigmund and Andrew Durante, who then all of a sudden you're playing alongside?
Yeah.
Must have been awkward.
Yeah, it was a bit awkward. I kind of didn't say anything, but I remember just the first couple of trainings, I was kind of starstruck really, training with these guys, and they're quite normal blokes and normal guys. Kind of took me by surprise. I think 17 coming in to train with the Phoenix, but they're all real nice Kiwi blokes, guys like Siggy and Mossy and Jura. They're real good guys, and I'm glad that I trained with them for the years I did.
Did they treat you nicely? Because I hear a few stories about how they might prank the younger players coming through.
Yeah, so we used to have team dinners or at the start of the season, just kind of like a team bonding, get the lads together, have something to eat. And I remember it was my first one. They kind of said, all right, lads, we're all turning up in our club suits. We got a club suit for the season, so I got the message, all right, club suit and everything, and we walked into the restaurant, and I'm the only guy with the club suit on. Everyone's in, their casual gear. They've stitched me. And yeah, it was pretty funny now I look back at it, because I got to do it when I was a couple of years later to the young boys. But yeah, it was definitely.
Oh, so you did it to the younger guys?
Yeah. So it was kind of the thing, like you're the joke for a year, and then you can do it to someone else. So yeah, it was funny. It was good.
And what about your first opportunity for the first team?
Yeah, so I remember, I think I come on against Melbourne City as an 18-year-old at Westpac Stadium, that was my debut, my A-League debut, and then I made my starting debut against Brisbane, where I managed to score. So yeah, the A-League is interesting, because I try and compare them to when I was in Germany or even the National League, and it's quite hard in Germany. It was very physical, the league. In the A-League, you have a bit more time. Even compared to the National League, I feel that you'd have less time in the National League, because the players are kind of flying in, and whereas the A-League, everyone's good players, and it's more tactical and try and break each other down type thing.
So you make your first team debut for the Phoenix around a similar sort of time. You get selected into the All Whites proper. You play 3 matches. What was that experience like? And do you think, in your heart of hearts, were you ready for it?
No, I probably wasn't ready, and there's probably a lot of people probably think that I shouldn't have been in the first place. But yeah, when there was quite a few games happening, and we were qualifying for the Confederations Cup, and the All Whites kind of put out all these kind of standards that the players had to meet: fitness, body fat percentage, and yeah, they kind of handed out to every player, and was kind of like, you have to meet these kind of standards or guidelines to even be in contention for the All Whites. So I just kind of went, all right, I'll try and meet these guidelines, and then
why not?
Turn up to camp and see what happens, and yeah, I trained. It was pretty hard, I think. I dieted for about 3 or 4 months and trained pretty hard. Still been at the Phoenix and everything as well. And then we got to the camp, and I don't think many of the players had met their guidelines, and I was kind of one of the handful that had. So they kind of went, oh, well, we can't not take you. You've turned to the camp and met all our, criteria that we've given to you. And then he was kind of, all right, I'll take you. And
wow.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Like, I'm assuming that more senior, more experienced players than yourself were being turned away, yet here you are.
Yeah, exactly. I remember there was some, players playing regularly at the Knicks and, getting told that, no, you have to leave, you haven't met the criteria. And I was a 17-year-old, never played like 1 or 2 games for the Phoenix off the bench, and, I'm getting selected to play for the All Whites. So I like to say it was down to hard work that I got, picked for the All Whites, but I think it was a bit of luck, and I just think the coach at the time, Anthony Hudson, was real... He was a strong believer of, coming in fit and being almost like an athlete, and that's what I did. So I guess he had to take me, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What was Anthony Hudson like?
Yeah, he was interesting. I liked him. He picked me.
He picked you in the squad.
Yeah, exactly.
He
So,
made you an All White.
Exactly. So I don't really have too many bad things to say about him. But no, he was good. I liked him. He was good to young players. He gave a lot of young players chances, like Clayton Lewis and Moses Dyer, and also myself. So and these players were playing in the National League as well. So he was never too scared to give a young player, if they come in fit and healthy, over players that were playing overseas that would come back and they were not in shape. So that's what I liked about him.
So you get into the All Whites through your work at the Phoenix. But then what happened at the Phoenix which led to your departure and off to Germany?
Yeah, so I think my 3-year contract had kind of come to an end, and there was kind of a period where the club hadn't signed a coach, and I guess players weren't really the first thing on their minds really, and I was kind of, I'm not going to sit and wait around for a phone call type thing. I'm going to kind of, try and do things myself here. And if opportunity, hadn't come up in Germany, and yeah, I was like, why not? I'm 20. It's probably a good time to go over there. And it was kind of off my own back, and no one helping me. And I just thought, why not get on a plane and go play football in Europe?
Crazy. And I was told that the coach that basically not recruited you, or he was a fan of yours, did he depart the scene pretty early on in your stint there?
Yeah, he did. So he kind of got. We had a rough start to the season, and yeah, by Christmas, I think 3 or 4 months, he was gone, and then a new coach come in that could speak no English. And yeah.
How's your German?
Yeah, German's not so great. Yeah, so, and then yeah, the coach, I had a bad injury there as well, and we were in a relegation battle, and he was kind of picking players who he trusted, which is fair enough, and he hadn't seen much of me, so he kind of said, yeah, you're not really going to play. It's just what they're like over there, so cutthroat and honest. But if anything, it was good for me, having someone that's honest rather than someone that's going, oh yeah, you keep training hard, you might play. He kind of said, you can train as hard as you want, and you'll never play in my team. So that's the harsh reality, I guess, of European football.
And so with that, I suppose you decide that your next move has to be back home for a bit of a reset.
Exactly. We were qualifying for the Olympics as well during the same time. So me and my club come to like a mutual decision to terminate my contract, which ultimately, I could come back, and they weren't going to let me come back and qualify for the Olympics because I still had 1 year left on my deal, and they said the games that you want to go back for don't fall into an international window, so we don't have to release you. So yeah, if you decide to stay out your contract, which I had every right to, they said that we wouldn't let you go back to play for your country, and I always want to play for my country, so to qualify for the Olympics, why not? A 1 year contract. I thought it meant more to try and qualify for the Olympics for my country than to stay in Germany for another year where I probably wasn't going to play.
Logan, you've done quite a lot in a short space of time. You're back here in New Zealand plying a trade for Auckland City. What does the next sort of 4 or 5 years look like for you? What do you want to achieve in that time?
Hopefully I'm still playing football, if the body holds up. I've been suffering a few injuries lately, but...
You're young, you'll bounce back.
Yeah, touch wood. Next 4 or 5 years, Olympics, World Cups coming up. Hopefully I can, tick those off the list, and yeah, hopefully I'm still playing football by then. Hopefully I sign a pro contract very soon, and yeah, just kind of football is what I love doing, so if I can carry on doing that for as long as I can, I'll be happy.
I wish you all the best, and we thank you so much for joining us on the Kiwi Football Fix. Logan Rogerson, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Lovely to sit down and have a catch up with Logan Rogerson, although guys, I must admit, I thought that his Auckland City were just a fraction lucky to get away with the win against Eastern Suburbs at the weekend. Turn your attention to the screen. Let's have a look at this penalty. Are we confident, Danny, that is a penalty?
From that angle, I think because the defender's arm goes back, from where the referee was, it looked like it was a penalty, but it most definitely was not when you saw the replays from other angles. It was anything but. It hit him square in the stomach. So a little bit hard done by there, the Eastern Suburbs defender, who's Christian Gray, the son of former All Whites captain Roger Gray.
What is a penalty, though, in 2020? Because, you know, every time I chuck on football from around the world, I'm seeing things that weren't a penalty maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. All of a sudden, ball to hand in any kind of fashion, it's awarded to the spot. Is that right or wrong?
The rules are the rules, I guess, but yeah, there's some tough calls. I feel sorry for the refs making those calls. I guess with VAR it kind of helps, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think as a defender now, you just got to put your hands behind your back and hope for the best. Let's
look at the ISPS Men's Premiership. Who's shaping up as a team to watch, and maybe give us a few players to watch as well?
Well, look, obviously Auckland City are a strong side, and you know they've got people like Logan Rogerson, who you know for me is going to be certainly on our radar. Other Kiwis like Mario Illich, who played very well in the weekend in a defensive midfield role. You've got a number of young Kiwis playing at Eastern Suburbs, and so I know Darren Baisley, the under-20s coach, will be watching them closely. I think other sides that have multiple Kiwis like Waitakere United, Hawke's Bay United. If we're looking at teams that are going to go close to winning it, obviously Auckland City, like I said, but Team Wellington are looking strong. They had a good win. And Hamilton Wanderers actually had a really good win first up. So they've got some dangerous players, the likes of Tommy Semi. So yeah, they're going to be a handful for a lot of sides.
When we look at the women's competition, the ISPS Handa Women's Premiership, there's a goal that was scored for the Auckland Football Federation team. Arisa Tekera casually chests it down, boom. Ever scored one like that?
Yeah.
That was convincing.
No, yeah, that's a pretty impressive goal. Yeah.
Back in your Mags days.
Back in my Mags days. Oh yeah, school days for sure. I would have scored a ton of those.
Yeah. Can you tell us the quality of the competition and who's shaping as one of the teams to beat?
I think it's the quality of the competition is good. It's fairly even. At the top, you've got Auckland, Northern, obviously. Canterbury is supposed to be strong, and then obviously Capital. We drew a Capital. So yeah, I think there's a lot of young, talented players in the comp. So it should be good. I hope that it's us in the final. I'm sure it will be. And Auckland looks pretty dangerous as well, and Christchurch, Canterbury, sorry. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be good.
To the action this weekend, just before we go, week 4 of competition in the Women's Premiership. Emma, the game to watch. If people wanted to get down to the ground or tune in on YouTube, what's the game to watch for you?
Definitely Northern Lights, Auckland.
With no bias whatsoever?
No bias whatsoever, no. Like, actually, this is going to be the game to watch.
Why?
Auckland are really strong, as you can see. I feel like we're kind of finding our groove now as a team. We had that bye, and we've got another game under our belt, a nice 3-0 win on the weekend. Yeah, we've got a really good team. Our girls are really working hard, and as you can see from the Auckland game, they look really hard to beat. They haven't dropped any points so far this season. And yeah, it's a one-round season, so there's no margin for error. So I mean, if we don't win this weekend, I think it's going to be tough for us to make the final. And Auckland look like they don't want to cut their winning streak. Sorry. So yeah, it'll be a good one.
It's a must-win game.
It's
good luck for
it. Yeah, thanks.
And Danny, what about week 2 of the Men's Premiership? What are you casting your keen eye across?
Yeah, look, I'm going to be driving down, was it State Highway 1 down to the mighty Waikato.
It's a beautiful drive these days as
Yeah,
well.
it's-
The expressway is just glorious.
It is nice and easy, isn't
Yeah.
it? It is nice and easy. Poor Huntley, they're not getting our business anymore.
No, they're not. Yeah.
But it is
Sorry,
a nice,
Huntley.
easy, nice, easy drive.
It happens.
Yeah, so look, the Hamilton Wanderers are playing Auckland City. So watching Auckland City for the second week in a row. But yeah, I think an exciting game. Both sides picked up maximum points last weekend. So I think it'll be quite a tough battle. As I said earlier, there's the likes of Derek Taiku and Tommy Semi, two visa players for Hamilton Wanderers, are really good quality players up front, and they'll test that Auckland City defence. So I'm looking forward to see how they get on with that.
Well, Danny Hay, enjoy that match. Emma Kete, thank you so much for your time and good luck at the weekend.
Thank you, yeah.
I think that'll conclude our very first episode of the Kiwi Football Fix. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back same time next week. Until then, enjoy your football. We'll catch you later.